Hi, my yoga friends. This is Mandy. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I've come to a few of y'all's classes before at Hot Yoga there in Atlanta, and I just wanted to send a quick video. Well, I'll try to be quick, in hopes to encourage you guys and just kind of reach out with what I know you're going through. Adila had asked if maybe I could share something to help you guys during this time. And so the first thing that came to my mind is the loss that y'all are going through. For for many of you, going to hot yoga has been that one outlet, that one place where no matter what was going on that day or you were anticipating doing that week, that you could go and you could sweat and your mind had to be on nothing but your body, which is so therapeutic in and of itself. And it was this resource that you had in your life, and not only the actual exercise of yoga, but the community of people. Man, just the few times that I've been there, I remember just even telling Adila how warm and wonderful you guys are. And I can only imagine the depths of loss that you're feeling in not being able to have this as the same type of resource that you had in your life while we're in a state of crisis right now. So I just kind of wanted to normalize that you're going to be feeling feelings of grief. This might look like, oh, it's not that bad. Uh, well, I'm not feeling any negative feelings, or it'll be okay. And maybe there's some denial going on, or maybe there's feelings of sadness, feelings of anger. All of that is really normal. And the thing about grief is that you have to feel it to heal it. And I know that you guys are doing some really cool online stuff right now on your page, and which is great, but I know it doesn't feel the same. And so how do we get through this grief that's going on? How do we deal with all these emotions that are happening? And the unfortunate part of grief is that unfortunately we have to let ourselves feel it to heal it. And one thing that I really want to encourage you guys to think about is on an individual level, on a personal level, what's the gift that hot yoga has had in your life up until this point? At this point, it's really feeling like a loss, because while there's still some connection there, it's not the same. And it's okay to not feel the same about it right now, because you're going through grieving emotions. But yeah, to really think about what that gift has been for you. The kind of the phrase I'm throwing out there for everyone is that this is the same storm, different boats, and you're in your own boat in the middle of all of this disarray, this crisis, this uncertainty. And so you've really got to start to allow yourself to be vulnerable with people, because that's how grief is going to be healed. Grief has to be acknowledged first and foremost. No positive quote or affirmation or someone convincing you to be grateful is going to actually make you feel better when you're grieving. What's going to help the process is acknowledging the pain and then sharing your grief with each other. I encourage every one of you right now watching this to type in the comments below one gift that hot yoga has brought to your life as a part of your daily routine, even, or your weekly routine. I know for me, when I went there, it was so therapeutic, because as someone who's literally paid to overthink, I could turn it off. I could just turn it off and I could meet new people, and it was such a gift. And a way that once you acknowledge that gift, every time you try to connect online with the yoga streaming, with your yoga classes, hold that gift with you. And even though it's not the same, you can hold the sadness and you can hold the gift, so that you're honoring the studio, you're honoring the meaning behind hot yoga, because it's not just hot yoga. It means something very specific, very personal to you. And then the other part is talking with each other. You've got to be connecting on an emotional level, because grieving is an emotional process, not an intellectual one. And so you actually need to be sharing in each other's griefs, and we heal through relationships. So calling up your yoga instructor or one of your friends that you met at your class, and just being able to express to them your feelings, and your anger and your sadness and your confusion, and the other person just holding that with them, and then you holding theirs as well. That process is going to help you feel the emotional response you're having to grieving so that you can move through it. Gratitude, thankfulness, that will all come later once you've moved through a lot of your feelings and you're able to kind of reconnect to things you are grateful for now. But I don't expect anybody to be at that process yet. And the other thing will be finding meaning. So finding meaning in not in the loss of being able to go to your hot yoga or having that community, but because of the loss, the way in which you want to respond in a meaningful way. So, what do you want to bring to the online community that you have with hot yoga, with the people there? The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is I know it's really hard to be mindful right now, and yoga is such a wonderful tool that even as therapists we suggest that people use to create mindfulness because that helps with stress. And I know that's really difficult for everybody. So one thing that is a must is that you're limiting your news intake no more than 1 or 2 hours a day. Have a time for it, and then process what part of it needs to be problem solved, how you need to apply whatever you just heard to your life, come up with a plan, and then let it go. And then at that point on, this is gonna be a good time to practice being in the here and now, which is what mindfulness is. So obsessive thoughts, ruminating about all the uncertainty, that's just going to create more cortisol, more adrenaline in your body. It's going to activate that survival response that doesn't need to be activated all the time. There's a level of it that will always be there because we are in crisis. However, really practicing the discipline of bringing yourself back into the present and looking for the one win of the day, whatever that may be. Quick mindfulness technique is the 5-4-3-2-1. So 5 things you can see, 4 things you can feel, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and then 1 thing you can taste, or 1 thing positive you can say about yourself. When we engage all of our senses in the very present moment, you're getting out of future thinking or past thinking, and you're bringing yourself back in. And just any time that you notice your thoughts drifting too far into the future, just gently remind yourself to bring yourself back into the day. Be very present in the moment. Use that 5 senses technique, as well as any of your breathing techniques and things that you've learned in yoga as well. So again, I encourage all of you to write the gift in the comments below that yoga has brought to your life, hot yoga community has brought to your life, as a way to acknowledge the love that you have, but also the loss that you're feeling. And let's share in that together. Every time that you enter into an online streaming course, remember that gift. I call it the gift in the grief, so that you're honoring that process as well. And then make sure that you're connecting with each other. This isn't a time to pretend like you need to have it all together or that you can't express your feelings. This is time to be vulnerable and to show up for one another, so that healing can happen in this process. So hope this is helpful. Sorry, Adila, I didn't keep it to a couple minutes. I tried my best, but I really love you guys, and I hope one day when social distancing isn't a thing, I can see you all again soon. So take care.